Let me ask you, before I start, if someone told you a miracle could be traded for a leftover meal, would you laugh in their face, or would you listen? I did both, honestly. I mean, if you'd seen Robert Harrison sitting alone in a $12 million Massachusetts mansion, the December snow drifting down outside, and all I wanted in the world was the one thing I couldn't buy me legs back. 20 years in a wheelchair, all the money in the world, and yet, every evening I'd watch the darkness come down through my windows like a slow, silent judgment. My wife was long gone, my friends drifted off years before, and even my own mother had stopped visiting as often because my bitterness just pushed people away. Sometimes I'd stare at my reflection in the glass and think, so this is what's left. That's how it was until the night I heard that knock on my side door, so soft, so persistent, I almost thought I imagined it. Nobody ever came to see me, especially not after dark. Curiosity beat out my usual bad mood, so I rolled to the kitchen entrance, and there she was, this tiny, scrappy kid, hair tangled, blue eyes brighter than anything I'd seen in years. 6 years old, shoes with holes, jacket paper thin against the New England winter. "Mister, do you have any food you're not going to eat?" she asked like it was the most natural thing in the world. You know what I mean? I'd spent decades fending off people who only wanted my money, my connections, whatever. But she was just hungry, not for charity, just for leftovers. Her name was Lily, she told me, and she lived with her mama in the falling down apartment across the street. Her honesty hit me harder than I'd admit. I asked her what she could possibly offer me in return. She said, "I can make you walk again." I laughed, of course who wouldn't? But she didn't flinch, just looked at me with a calm certainty I hadn't seen in anyone, let alone a kid. "I've done it before," she said. "You just have to want it for the right reasons." I sent her off with a Tupperware of my untouched dinner, thinking that'd be the end of it. But you ever meet someone who just waltzes into your life and refuses to leave, changing the entire shape of your world in the process? That's Lily. The next morning, my housekeeper said, "There's a little girl asking for you." I didn't even pretend to be annoyed. She showed up with a crumpled flower, her thank you, and before I knew it, was asking to see my legs. No judgment, just this innocent curiosity. "They're just sleeping," she said after resting her hands on my knees. "Sometimes things sleep for a long time, but they wake up eventually." I wanted to tell her how wrong she was, how every doctor in the country had told me my injury was permanent, but instead I found myself admitting things I hadn't said out loud in years. Lily listened, nodding like she was twice her age, then dropped her wisdom. "Magic only works if you want to help other people, not just yourself." Never had I thought about it like that. Why did I really want to walk again? Just to have my old life back? Or was there more? I told her she could come back the next day. For the first time in years, I actually felt a tiny spark of hope. Meanwhile, across the street, Lily's mother, Maggie, was struggling through her own storm. 3 jobs, never enough money, constant worry about keeping her daughter safe and fed. When Maggie found out about Lily's new friend, she freaked, who wouldn't? Single mother, rough neighborhood, her little girl in a strange man's mansion. But when I came over to introduce myself, wheeling up with a mixture of nerves and sincerity, Maggie met me at the door, baseball bat in hand. I respected that, honestly. Eventually, with Lily vouching for me, I convinced Maggie to come over with her daughter, to see for herself that I wasn't a threat. Their first visit changed everything. Maggie saw past the grandeur of my house to the loneliness that filled every room. Lily, unfazed by the chandeliers and priceless art, just ran through the halls like she belonged there. For dinner, we ate at a small round table by the window, not the big formal one. And for a couple hours, the empty echo of my mansion was filled with laughter, real conversation, and I swear a little bit of magic. Lily told us straight up, "I'm not going to fix Mr. Bob's legs. I'm going to fix his heart." Let me back up a sec. You have to understand, most people, when they see a man in a wheelchair, they look away, or worse, they pity you. But Lily saw me, the real me. She convinced her mother that I wasn't just some sad rich guy, and together, they gave me purpose. I started offering help not out of guilt or obligation, but because it felt right. Maggie handled my household, brought order to chaos, and Lily, well, she became my heart doctor. Every day, she'd show up with some new prescription: gratitude, laughter, hope. Eat a cookie and tell me 3 good things, she'd say, and somehow that became the medicine I didn't know I needed. A couple weeks in, I started to feel something in my legs, a tingle, then a flutter, then one morning, the unmistakable sensation of movement. My neurologist, Dr. Winters, didn't believe it at first, but the tests didn't lie. Nerve pathways that were supposed to be dead were lighting up on the scans. "This is impossible," she said, but there it was. Lily just grinned and said, "I told you, magic works best when hearts are connected." Of course, not everyone was thrilled about this new chapter in my life. My ex-wife's lawyers sent letters accusing Maggie and Lily of manipulation. Tabloids ran stories calling Maggie a gold digger, and the court-appointed psychiatrist grilled me about my mental state. Through it all, Maggie offered to leave, not wanting to cause more trouble, but I told her, "You're my family now. I'm not letting anyone scare us apart." There were rough days, sure. My own mother showed up, worried I was being taken advantage of, but when she saw the difference in me, the change Lily and Maggie had brought, even she couldn't deny what was happening. Still, the pressure outside grew. Lawsuits, gossip, questions from everyone who'd ever known me. And all the while, my legs kept getting stronger. Then one morning in March, it happened. I woke up feeling different, like every cell in my body was buzzing. Lily burst into the kitchen and announced, "Today's the day. You're going to walk." I laughed, but she just looked at me with those steady blue eyes and said, "Try." So I did. With Maggie on one side and Lily on the other, I pushed myself up, and for the first time in 20 years, I stood. My legs shook, I wobbled, but I took a step, then another. And then I was walking, really walking, across my kitchen toward a little girl who'd always believed it was possible. You could say the real miracle wasn't in my legs, it was in my heart. Learning to let people in, learning to trust, learning to love again. 6 months later, I walked down the Isla Literalito, Mary Maggie, with Lily tossing flower petals ahead of us, and my mother crying happy tears in the front row. The newspapers called it the miracle wedding, but to us, it was just the next chapter in a life we built together out of hope, courage, and the absolute refusal to give up on each other. So, is this story about a medical impossibility? Maybe. Or maybe it's about what happens when you let yourself believe in people again, when you let love do its impossible work. I won't pretend everything is perfect or that everyone's happy for us, but you know what? For the first time in a long time, I'm not angry at the world. I'm grateful. And if you've ever wondered whether miracles are real, maybe you're asking the wrong question. Maybe the real question is, when life offers you a miracle, will you believe it's for you? If this story hit you, or made you question what's possible, tell me, what would you have done in my place? Does real justice mean getting back what you lost, or learning how to live with what you have? Drop your thoughts below. I'll be reading. After all, I know firsthand how one unexpected voice can change your whole life.